If you are an investor based in Europe or the UK, then I got the perfect stock trading app for you. It's one of the latest brokers that came out in Europe and it's called Lightyear, and really one of the slickest apps I've probably ever used to buy my stocks. I really love the design and interface, and I'm going to show you the real app in a second. But basically you can choose from over 3,000 international stocks and ETFs, so that's really good. It gives you really a big access to stocks, not just in Europe or UK, but obviously internationally and as well in the US. And one of the really cool features, you're gonna get interest on the cash sitting in your account that is waiting to be invested of up to 3.75% per year. So that's really cool. And most likely your bank account or other brokers is not paying you anything for your money sitting there. As I said, the app and interface really sleek, very modern, very easy to use, and it has absolutely zero fees. And that's really amazing. No commission fees on stocks or ETFs, no inactivity fees, no withdrawal fees. The only tiny little fee that you could potentially pay in case you wanted to exchange some of your base currency, euros or pounds, into dollars or another currency, that would be 0.35% if you wanted to change it. But since I personally invest most of my funds into euro-based stocks or ETFs, I actually don't have to pay that, and that makes the app 100% free to use. And they also have some great details and analytics and good insights into the stocks or ETFs. Not overwhelming, because some of the apps, they have too much detail and you get lost in it, like interactive brokers sometimes, but at the same time much better than, for example, Trade Republic, which is really bare bones. Right, so with regards to the pricing, once again, if you invest €1, €10 or 10,000 euros, there's not going to be any fee whatsoever. So you can see it over here. All securities are commission free, fractional shares are commission free. That's great as well. Obviously, financial transaction tax, that depends on where you're based, and that's really not anything your broker can do about it. So that depends on the place where you're living. Account fees, once again, absolutely zero on everything. Even, for example, Revolut, which I used in the beginning to buy my stocks with, they used to charge some custody fee on the security holdings, etc. So you don't have any of that. Transfers as well, any transfer in and out, absolutely zero. And as I mentioned, the only thing how they really make money is on the currency conversion fee. This fast deposit, just disregard. Do the usual bank transfer, it's gonna be there within less than a minute, so that's really the best way to go about it. And the amazing thing I mentioned before, interest on uninvested cash. So the amount of money you have sitting in your account waiting to be invested, and I actually do that quite a bit because I'm setting up monthly recurring buys, so I wanna have some money sitting in my account, and then I'm gonna get on my USD 3.75% and on the Euro 1.75%. Obviously that's per annum, but still, it's accumulated every single day and paid out to you at the end of the month. All right, with this, let's hop over into the app. To get started, just hop over to the Apple Store or Google Store. You can download it, just put in Lightyear over there and you can download it. Sadly, it's not available on the web interface right now. It's only available as an app, but since it's so seamless, actually, you don't really need a web interface. So once you find it, you can just go ahead, download it, and then it walks you through the process of signing up. And literally, it took me less than 2 minutes. I was verified. You obviously have to do the usual KYC, where you take a selfie of yourself and a picture of your documents, and it will auto verify you. As I said, for me, it was less than 2 minutes and I was good to go. And if you want to sign up to Lightyear, then please use my link in the description below, and you're gonna get 10 euros that you can spend on any stock you wanna buy. Right, so once you've signed up, you can just go ahead and open it, and then you're gonna be greeted by the main interface. And it's really clean and super simple to use. As you can see at the bottom, there's only 3 pages that you can use. So here you have all your explore page, then you have your portfolio page, and then here you have your cash balance and any activities you have. So let me walk you through one by one. So that's basically the main landing site. From here, obviously you can go ahead and search any stock or ETF you want. So if I wanted to look for Google, I would put Alphabet over here, and then I would pull it up and I can see it. But I'll walk you through that in a second, how that works. Then you have some updates. It gives you a few news snippets with regards to your portfolio holdings, and then you can basically click into it and obviously see more if you scroll down. But once again, I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, that's really nice. And then you can also click over here if you want to see some more general news, and yeah, really cool news aggregator if you wanted to use that one. Then over here, they present you with a number of popular stocks and ETFs for that particular week. So that's really good as well in case you need some inspiration, see what's happening, what's trending. You usually have the most common stocks that people buy and sell on the platform, but then you can just scroll across to get some inspiration and do some deep dive. If you wanted to further, you can see, obviously you can click on view all and then see what is trending and then kind of do your research from there. And from here you can also click onto ETFs, which ETFs are trending, what are people buying, etc. So once again, a nice starting point, especially if you haven't bought any stocks before. And then they have also a very nice discovery tab. So from here you can see, for example, ETFs by different categories. For example, all ETFs, country ETFs, dividend ETFs, sector ETFs, ESG friendly. So let's say I wanted to have a high yielding dividend ETFs, then I can see here right away, all right, so these 8 ETFs are very much based on high dividend yield. So if I took the first one, for example, iShares Euro dividend, I would see if I go down to the dividend section, you can see almost 5% dividend. So yeah, quite attractive in terms of a dividend yield. Now, if you want to buy it, it's another question. Obviously, I can see quite high charges, 0.4%. So I may not want to go for it. But once again, if you like dividends, that could be very interesting, and it just filters it for you. So it makes it very easy to see. The same with stocks. You can see here by different countries, right? If I wanted to buy stocks in the UK, I can see all the UK listed stocks within the app, and then, don't have to look for them, but I can see them here and also get inspired in case I want to diversify my portfolio. If I have too much in US or Asia, I want to buy some more in Europe, for example in the UK, I would go in here and see, okay, Wise looks pretty good. As a matter of fact, Lightyear was founded by few people who were really high up in Wise. They left Wise eventually and started their own business, which is now called Lightyear. And that's why it's so good, because they took a lot of the insights from Wise into Lightyear. So you can see some of the similarities there. And obviously many more countries that you can filter by. Then they have all collections as well. If you wanted to invest into utilities or healthcare, you can see here all the healthcare related stocks. So a really nice way of finding a stock easily. Then I can see investment calendars, and that pertains to my portfolio, to the holdings I have already in my portfolio and what is coming up. So for example, I'm holding Starbucks, BlackRock and S&P Global stocks, and I can see here on the 24th of February, I'm going to have a dividend payment coming up of 53 cents per share. So that's great. It will automatically, once the dividend hits my account on the day, notify me, send me a notification, and boom, I'm gonna have it in my cash account. So that's really nice. And actually, I'm getting really excited about dividends again, because for the longest times, I was staking all my crypto, and it was nice to see the daily income of cryptocurrency coming in. But now that cryptos are struggling a little bit, I actually keep all of them in my ledger, and I'm not getting any staking income. Plus, interest at the bank account is still pretty much zero. So getting these monthly or quarterly dividend payments is really nice to see and really rewarding. From here, I could click into the whole calendar for the whole year, so I can see what's coming up in the next few months, and you can see a number of dividend payments. So once again, small amounts, but really those do add up over time. And then I scroll down and I have all the stocks that are on my watch list, and it's very simple to add them. Any stock that you have, you can basically click that star item. So now it will be off my watch list, and if I click the star item, it will be on my watch list. So very simple to do. And that's all there is for it. Of course, we also have the settings over here on the icon. Here you can get your tax documents, change your bank account that's connected to it in case you want to withdraw any of your funds, which literally took a second for me to do and arrived at my bank account. You can change that here. You can change your base currency. If I click into this, I can say, what is my base currency? In my case, it should be euro. If you're from the UK, it could be pounds. So yeah, that's a good option as well. Let's go into my portfolio. So you can either click at the bottom over here in the middle one, or you can actually just swipe to the right and you're over there. So you can see here my portfolio still fairly small, as I just started using it a couple of days ago. My main portfolio is with Interactive Brokers, but I can definitely see myself using Lightyear more and more as a supplementary account, because with Interactive Brokers, I'm actually paying a commission on every single buy. With Lightyear, there's no commission. So that makes it very attractive. Plus, it's a much slicker interface. So it's much more joyful to use it on a daily basis rather than Interactive Brokers. The only difference I can see at the moment that Lightyear is currently regulated and protected by the Estonian finance system, so to say, which means your investments are protected up to 20,000 euros. So if you're just starting off, I think that's more than plenty. But later on, it might be a little bit too risky if you have 100,000 euros lying on your account. And that's why Interactive Brokers could be a nice supplementary broker, which I use myself, because they're securing my European funds up to 100,000 euros and my US-based funds up to $500,000. So that's really nice. And hopefully in the future, Lightyear will also increase that protection limit. Right, so from here you can see basically the graph. Obviously, as I just started recently, you can see here the jump comes from my deposits. That's not amazing stock picking, but rather my cash deposits that are made to it, plus a little gain potentially from the investments itself. You can change here the period that you want to display, but obviously that becomes more relevant over time. From here, I can just click on my cash. So here I can see all my cash reserves right now, which you can see I'm accruing 1.75% interest per year paid to me daily. So when I click into this here, you can see so far I got 11 cents. So obviously it's a small amount, but you can imagine if I put a big amount over there and get 1.75%, it's really not too bad, considering that at my bank account currently I get 0%. So it's a nice little addition. You can see here also very clearly, it shows very transparently they're using the ECB base rate and they're deducting a small fee for themselves, and they pay you the difference. Your bank account, most likely, they have the same ECB interest rate they're getting, but they're deducting the full rate and paying you a glorious 0%. So that's the difference, and I really like and appreciate it about them. And if you have a lot of US dollar holdings, it's even better. You can see here 3.75%, because obviously the Federal Reserve Bank has an even higher interest rate of 4.5%. They deduct their little fee, 0.75. So you would be getting 3.75% on any dollar holdings. So if you have dollars in any of your accounts, or you don't have it yet, but you just want a currency hedge, it makes maybe sense to convert some of your euros, pay the 0.35%. It's still lower than the interest you'd be getting, and then you would keep your dollars here, so you'd still be much better off than just keeping your euros in your local bank account. And obviously from here, I can deposit, I can convert or withdraw. If I wanted to withdraw, it's very simple. I just put the amount and I already added my bank account. I use my Revolut account. Then all you have to do, preview the withdrawal. And as you can see over here, it's €0. I click confirm and it literally less than a minute, it was in my bank account. So it's really, really nice, no fee, and I absolutely love it. To convert is obviously also very straightforward. So I can just say I want to convert €10. And then once again, it very clearly shows the fee, because a lot of brokers, they hide the fees and then you're just guessing how much you pay. I can see here, it's very clearly indicated, as it said before, the 0.35% conversion fee. That's the only fee the app will ever charge you. And then that's what I'm going to get. I can click preview conversion, and then obviously I would see how much it costs, how much I get, and go ahead if I wanted to. But I don't want to convert anything right now, so I'm fine with that. And lastly, you can obviously deposit money. Arguably the fastest way is using Apple or Google Pay. I can just show you how fast it is if I use Apple Pay. Let me select that. I say €10. And there's no fee. However, please note that this is only up to €500 in a lifetime. So if you use the app longer, and obviously eventually you're going to surpass €500 deposit, there will be a small fee charged to it, which once again, they very clearly identify. So long term, I always recommend use a bank transfer, but I just want to show you for the sake of the exercise how fast it will be. If I click now Apple Pay, I will select my card that I want to be using, which is my Revolut card. And then I will just double tap. And it will take a second, it will verify my face, and boom, you will see deposit has arrived. And I already have it. If I go over here into my cash balance, I can see here deposit from card has arrived. Basically instant, and I really, really love it. And from here, I can just scroll down and basically see all my investments that I currently have in my Lightyear account. So obviously one of my favorite is my Vanguard ETF, the S&P 500, which I buy the 500 biggest companies in the US. I buy them Euro-based, they're based in Amsterdam, but basically reflects the S&P 500. And then obviously some other stocks. I will do a video in the future where I'm gonna update you on all my portfolio, including Lightyear and of course interactive brokers. So yeah, basically this is where you're gonna find all your holdings, and then you can go from here into each single one of them. So let's say I love coffee, so let's click into Starbucks, and from here I can very quickly see what's happening with Starbucks. I can see at the top if the market is open or not. If I click into here, I can see it's traded at the Nasdaq. It will open in 2 hours and 55 minutes. And then obviously when it trades, I can also see when it closes. So that's really nice. A lot of brokers, I don't even know, are they trading? Are they not trading? Are they open? So it makes it very simple to use. I can see where I'm buying the stock. Once again, sometimes you buy stock in certain brokers such as Trade Republic, and I didn't even know on what stock exchange I'm actually buying that security. So having it very clearly outlined is really helpful. And then you can also see at the top here, fractional or non-fractional. So for example, Starbucks allows fractional stocks. So as you can see right now, one share of Starbucks would cost $104. But for example, I just wanted to buy Starbucks worth for $1, which is actually much cheaper than a coffee in Starbucks. But let's say I wanted to buy that, I could do that. I can go into preview and you can see no trading fee, and I can buy a fraction. So you can see number of shares. It's 0.009 shares I would be getting. Not a full share, but a fraction. And that's the cool thing. Even if you have small amounts to start investing, you can do that without any fee. Because with interactive brokers, for example, I could do also fractional stock trading. But if I wanted to buy, let's say $10 worth of Starbucks, I might pay €1.5 worth of commissions. And that's really not helping my profitability of my investments. Other than that, the chart is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, you can see once again and change the time intervals to see how the stock has been developing. I really like that you can just scroll around and see at what point the price was where. And at the top also immediately you can see how the price has changed. Year to date, they've been up 4%. For the month, they've been down 1.16%. So once again, some other brokers, they don't really display even such simple things, very straightforward, and you sometimes have to dig out to find that information. So I really love that about it as well. And then the bottom's obviously buying and selling, very straightforward. From here, you just scroll down and then you can see my investments, what I'm holding at the moment. Obviously, this is just to play around a little bit for now. $10 I bought worth of Starbucks. It's down currently 6 cents. And then obviously how much shares I have and the price per share that I bought. That will be the average over time. Here you have a few key metrics. That is very important. Obviously, the market cap, PE ratio, EPS beta, dividend rate, and dividend yield. So that's really nice. I love Starbucks for the dividend. So I'm getting a 2% dividend. That's obviously on an annual basis, but I pay it out quarterly. So yeah, as I said, I love dividend stocks and I want to buy more dividend stocks going forward, not just tech stocks that I loved in the past, high growth like Apple, etc. But we've seen what happened when times are going down. But dividend stocks usually keep on paying dividends even in difficult times. That's why I really appreciate a good dividend stock. Then if you go down further, you can see analyst ratings. Also gives you a rough indication, what's happening. It doesn't mean you have to follow it. Obviously, you should sometimes go against the market. But if everybody says sell the stock, then at least it's a red flag for you to do more homework and see why they're saying it. Maybe there's really a fundamental issue with the company. So I always like it as a good overall indication whether I should further investigate a stock or not. Then we can go down even further. You can see analyst price targets. What is the potential upside? Again, this is just an indication. It doesn't have to come true. Most analysts are usually wrong, but still nice to see some kind of price indications over there. Then you have a few graphs over there in terms of performance. That's a really good graph to see on annual or quarterly basis. You can change that and it shows you your revenues and net income. That's super important. I only want to invest into companies that actually produce an income, a positive profit, because a lot of companies in the past, they have shown crazy high growth and revenues, but they made losses. And in order to pay a dividend, you need to make a profit. Otherwise, there's no point to pay dividends, right? So I prefer dividend stocks and therefore I always want to see a company with some good net income. And then of course, you have your balance sheets over here. Then we can also look into the earnings. So here are the actual earnings versus expected earnings. Expected earnings are obviously, again, from analysts, what they're expecting for the earnings to be. And then you can see if it's green, it's exceeded, or if it's red, it came in lower than expectation. So that gives you a good indication as well, how things are going. And then something I really love, I can basically free of charge listen to the earnings calls. So basically I can listen to the CEO of the company, in this case, Howard Schultz, present for the last time. Now, after many years of being with the company and being the mastermind of Starbucks, is eventually leaving. Here in this call, he was the last time presenting the numbers, the directions, the strategies, the successes, the failures of Starbucks. And even there's a Q&A section highlighted here where some of the smartest investors and bankers are asking the board, asking the CEO questions, and you get to listen to it. And for me, it's so insightful because let's be honest, you also have the documents here, which is amazing. For example, the conference call deck, which is great, but then there's also the huge report. And look at this. Who wants to read this? I'll be honest, I switched off after the first page already. So for me, that's really boring. But listening to them, presenting the company, you connect with them on a much deeper level, and I absolutely love it. And yeah, it's just amazing to get to listen to this for free, be there. And I think in the last few days, I listened to 12 different company reporting, and it's so insightful because you also invest into the management and leadership of a company. So listening to that and hearing it from the horse's mouth, so to say, I can really connect with them and either say, okay, I'm aligned with their vision and values, or maybe not, right? Because some of the presentations I heard was not very convincing for me. For example, one case I heard with Starbucks was the huge reliance on China. So for me, that's a little bit worrying because if you over rely on one region, what happens if that doesn't recover as strong as they want? So that's really something I didn't really realize beforehand. So it's really, really powerful, and I recommend you to listen to it. If you're serious about investing into a particular company or stock, definitely give it a go. It's obviously every 3 months. You can try it free of charge. Very powerful tool that not many other apps offer. And then from here, you have obviously upcoming earnings. Then I can see the upcoming dividend payments. I can see all of them if I click on here. So anything that is coming up in the future, which is great. And then obviously any news related to that particular stock, which is good as well. And then my recent activities, what I bought for, and a little overview about Starbucks in general, if I'm not familiar with it, the ticker symbols and where it's trading on, who's the CEO, and a couple of other information. And also very interesting, sometimes some of the related companies to them. So in case you want to invest into hospitality or F&B related things, I can see here PepsiCo could be a potential alternative to Starbucks. So that's really good sometimes to see complementary companies that you want to invest in case you like the industry, but maybe not the particular company. So that's really good as well. And then from here, obviously I could sell or buy the stock, and I could also have notifications for price alerts. I could just very easily set the price I want, and then if I'm fine with it, set it, and I'll be notified immediately by the app once it hits the price. Right, with this we can go to the last tab, and that's my cash balance. I showed you before. Obviously you have all your 3 different currencies. At the moment you can only have 3 different currency pairs: the euro, the dollar, and the British pound. And then you can see here all your activities, any deposits you made, withdrawals, any buys, any dividends, any rewards. You can yourself, once you sign up, refer other people. You just click over here on earn, and you can share your link with others. And really interesting, in the link settings, for example, you can say if you want it to be private or public. So I have mine on public. So if you do use my link, you will actually see my portfolio. So that might be interesting for some of you as well. So as I said at the beginning of the video, if you're based in Europe or the UK, using Lightyear is definitely a no-brainer. As I said, there's 0 cost for you. so there's nothing to lose. It's protected up to 20,000 euros. It's the nicest and cleanest interface I've ever used for a stockbroker and the fastest and most seamless way to buy and sell stocks. Absolutely love it. And best of all, absolutely free of charge. Zero fees, no hidden fees. Definitely, if you already have a portfolio somewhere or want to get started investing, it's a no-brainer. I really recommend you check it out. If your portfolio starts growing significantly and you do get a little bit worried with the 20,000 euro limit, then they do have the option later on, if you wanted to transfer your shares and portfolio into interactive brokers. I saw the option in interactive brokers. They actually listed Lightyear as a broker that allows transferring into interactive brokers if you so wish in the future. For myself, I'm going to be using both interactive brokers and Lightyear at the time being because I really love the experience. I like listening to the company earnings calls. You can set up automated buys every single week, even day, without any fees. So there's absolutely no reason not to use it. So if you want to check out Lightyear, then please use my link in the description below. You're going to get 10 euros to get you started to buy any fractional stock of your liking. And by doing that, you support the channel and you'll be able to see my portfolio in Lightyear. Next, check out the video over here where I'm going to run you through some of the best brokers if you're based in Europe or the UK. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. It means the world to me. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I see you in the next one. Ciao.